Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 6th session of our local culture seminar. Let me introduce myself. My name is Fitri Yulianti. For those who don't know me, I'm the food and lifestyle journalist, especially for food culture. It's such an honor for me to be chosen as a master of ceremony for this session. You probably noticed that regional culture or local culture, or in Indonesian called budaya daerah, is one thing that cannot be generalized. Every regional has own their culture root and story. Even some cultures are result from the integration of several cultures. Because of that, we really want the young generation to know more about local culture, and for this theme, we have 3 amazing speakers that will talk about their local culture, the example, and many other things. Before we start, please allow me to explain today's agenda. The first is opening, which was conveyed by the first MC. The second is singing the Indonesian national anthem. The third is greeting, and the fourth is opening recitation, and the fifth is the first seminar, and the sixth is break, which is all of the session have been carried on. Now we have the 7th session, which is the second seminar, and for the last one is the closing. We had 3 speakers for today's event, and all of them is an inspiring woman. Your generation idol also have amazing personality. We have Khoirotusyarifah, Hanifah Yuliani, and Hanifah Ardiani. All of them are graduate from English literature in 2022. And just fun fact, 4 of us were friends since a freshman. Okay guys, without any further ado, let's start the first speaker. All of you must be known her. She is one of Indonesian representative for the Geography Olympiad 2026 at Geneva, and win the 4th place at Culture Speech Contest at 2023, 2nd place in 2025, and the 3rd place in this year. Please welcome Khoirotusyarifah.
Bumi Pasundan lahir ketika Tuhan sedang tersenyum. Dan Bandung bagiku bukan cuma masalah geografis, lebih jauh dari itu. Melibatkan perasaan yang bersamaku ketika sunyi. Dutch Nationality Cultural Observer Martinus Antonius Weslinus Brouwer and P.D. Baik. Bandung was on to the venue for the 1955 Asia-Africa Conference, a meeting that voiced the spirit of anti-colonialism. Even the Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru said in his speech that Bandung was the capital city of Asia-Africa. In 1990, was selected as one of the 7 cities in the world based on a Time magazine survey because the city was very nice, well-ordered, and rich in culture. Bandung, my hometown, is a very interesting place, like shopping. You can visit Dago and Cihampelas. In those areas, there are so many factory outlets, which apparently attract many Jakarta people who like to shop. These shops are popular with their cheap price. If you go to upper part of Dago, you will see lots of cafes too. These cafes are famous because you can enjoy tasty food and Bandung beautiful view at the same time. The air is cold and fresh because there is no factory nearby and very limited number of cars, just like in the old days. Bandung has a lot of cultural heritage. We will explore what are the cultures in Bandung. Have you previously visited Bandung? A city that is very known with a lot of history and culture in it. One that is very famous is angklung. Do you know? According to Dr. Groneman, the angklung had already been a favorite musical instrument of the entire archipelago even before the Hindu era. According to Japan, in music in Java, beside West Java, angklung also exists in South Sumatra and Kalimantan. Lampung, East Java, and Central Java are also familiar with the instrument. In the Hindu period and the time of the Kingdom of Sunda, the instrument played an important role in ceremonies. The angklung was played to honor Dewi Sri, the goddess of fertility, so she would bless their land and lives. The angklung also signaled the time for prayers and was said to have been played since the 7th century in the Kingdom of Sunda. In the Kingdom of Sunda, it provided martial music during the Battle of Bubat, as told in the Kidung Sunda. The oldest surviving angklung is the angklung Gubrag, made in the 17th century in Jasinga, Bogor. Other antiquated angklung are stored in the Sri Baduga Museum, Bandung. The oldest angklung tradition is called angklung Buhun, from Lebak Regency, Banten. The angklung Buhun is an ancient type of angklung played by Baduy people of the inland Banten province during the Serentown harvest ceremony.
Ya, Bali. Ya, ada yang berbeda. Sulawesi. Nah, yang berbeda.
We are proud to have many cultures. One of them is angklung. Angklung is a traditional musical instrument which is currently very well known to foreign countries. We as hosts must preserve this culture so it remains sustainable and is widely known by the world community. Let's preserve our cultural heritage. Hatur nuhun.
Sawang Sulma. Wow, that's a really amazing presentation. Thanks for sharing with us, Koi. And for the second speaker, we have one of the youth generation idol. She really loves nature and photography. She has 1 million followers on her Instagram account. She is one of the best English tutor, also work as tour guide. Please welcome Hanifah Yuliani.
Okay, as we previously know that Bandung has a traditional music art, namely angklung, but here I would like to introduce one of the custom carried out by the Sundanese people during wedding ceremonies, namely lengser or kilengser at the Mapak Pengantin traditional ceremony. But before I explaining about lengser, I want to tell what is mapag panganten. Mapag panganten is a welcoming procession for the groom and his family. In ancient time, this ceremony was only performed when a princess or family from the Pajajaran kingdom married. But after the collapse of the Pajajaran kingdom, the ceremony began to be carried out by ordinary people. In the traditional ceremony, mapag panganten is filled with various artistic attraction and influence many artists, including peacock dance, karawitan music, and also lengser. Lengser is responsible for welcoming and directing the groom to the location of the wedding. But sometimes the lengser is responsible for directing the bride and groom to the wedding chair, depending on the wishes of the bride and groom. This lengser consists of an old man who is a kilengser or akilengser, panayagan or music player, pamaya or dancer, and punggawa or guard soldier. Kilengser usually played by a man who looked like a hunchback old man, and usually someone accompanies him, namely a woman who also looked like an old woman called Nini or Ambu. Kilengser acts as a role model in society and also as a symbol of advisor in marriage. Kilengser clothes usually consisted of kampret shirt, pangsipen with a sarung tied around his waist, and wearing a totopong or headband. Kilengser is usually depicted with toothless teeth and amusing dance moves, which cause his presence to provoke laughter. In ancient time, during the Sundanese kingdom, Kilengser had an important role in a government building. Kilengser is the embodiment and representative of the Prabu or king who come down to meet and unite with his people. Kilengser had a very high position above Pati and below the king. And now, Lengser function as a performer mapag panganten. However, apart from the wedding ceremony, the Lengser was also shown as a welcome for the arrival of stage official and guests.
Oh my god, that's really interesting. Thank you, Hanifah, for sharing with us. Now, for the last speaker, we have one of the best Indonesian writer. Her novel, The Adventure World, has published in English and Japanese, also sold over 1 million copies, and she also writing one of the most Indonesian parent favorite children book, English is Fun. Please welcome Hanifah Ardiani.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hanifah Ardiani. I'm from class 6, third semester. And here I will explain about a tradition that exists in Bekasi, precisely in my residential area, which is in Cikarang. One of them is recitation. This recitation has been applied here for a long time, especially in my housing. So every week between Friday or Saturday or Sunday, there will be recitation in almost every house in one housing or per alley or block. So each house will get the time for their house to be held the recitation. Recitation is usually held every evening for women's recitation. However, recitation for men is usually held after every Isha, and for male recitation it is not as frequent as recitation for men. Usually about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but the day remains the same between Friday and Sunday. That's because work, especially those who work as workers in a factory, will find it difficult to live or manage their own working hours. Generally, for the recitation of women here, maybe it is not too different from the others, because here is also the activities such as reading prayers. After that, there is preaching from the ustazah, representatives who comes, because the recitation here suggests inviting at least one ustazah as the leader of the continuation of the recitation. After that, recitation here is sometimes interspersed with qasidahan. By the way, I really like hearing the sound of qasidahan because I think it's always nice to hear, and maybe when I was little, I practiced playing it too, so I really enjoy it. I'm sorry, okay, let's back to the topic. Usually, 2 to 3 qasidahan songs will be played, sometimes even using sound equipment so that the qasidahan can be heard by the nearest houses. Then part break or rest. Usually here the women chat while eating snacks and drinks provided by the house in the house. And for the recitation participant, there were approximately 20 to 30 people because it also adjusts to the area of each house. Before the recitation is completely finished, of course, it ends with a prayer, after which each recitation participant will be given a gift containing heavy food. Sometimes the gifts that have been made are excess and will be distributed by other recitation participants who cannot attend or to neighbors. In addition, here there is also a recitation in the mosque, or what is called muludan. This recitation is quite different from the recitation that is usually done here, starting from the time, number of participants, and others. Muludan for women is usually held in the morning, from 8 in the morning to 12 in the afternoon, to be exact. As for men, it is held after evening until 12 at night. Of course, there are more participants, and there is something a little bit unique here. Men who hold it are usually mixed, so there are female participants and male participants. It's like combined. But of course, female participants will be allowed to go home early when it is getting late. Then, if the organizer is from the woman's side, it is usually not mixed, so only women are present, especially like mother and courtesy of woman like that. And for more specific procurement, usually taking school holidays between Saturday and Sunday. So that's all from me. Thank you so much for the attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, Hanifah Ardiani. And finally, we finish all of today's session. On behalf of all English Literature family, Steering Committee, and English Literature alumni, I'm Fitri Yulianti. Thank you for coming, and we look forward to seeing you at the next year event. We hope this event can inspire you. Let's end this event with reciting Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. And once again, thank you for coming, everyone, and don't forget to stay healthy. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you in the next event, everyone. Bye bye.